Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Pots and Petals here, everything garden and allotment related. It is early Saturday morning, it's a bit drizzly, it's a bit windy. We're getting over the remnants of Storm Babet that has been hitting the UK over the last few days. I think if you're based in Scotland, you've still got a few more days of this, but it is starting to calm down a little bit down here in the south. So I really do just hope and pray that your gardens and homes haven't been affected too much. Where I'm based is actually classed as arid down here in the south, but I've seen flooding like I've never seen before. It really is a sign of climate change. These extreme weathers, honestly, they're getting a little bit too crazy. So I don't know how much we're going to get done down here today. It is meant to be showery, but at the moment it's just a drizzle, which I can deal with. But if it gets any heavier, I might have to head home. But it's going to be a clear up day today anyway. I've got plenty of beds that I need to weed. And then tomorrow we can actually get some other little bits done. So we want to plant out the garlic tomorrow. I've got some green manure I need to sow. And there's plenty of bulbs to go into the grounds and in the pots as well. So first of all, I'm going to make myself a nice cup of coffee, warm myself up a little bit, and then we're going to get stuck into a load of weeding, and I'm sure there'll be some other little bits and bobs that we'll see along the way as well. So come on guys, let's go make a cup of coffee and then we can get stuck in. This is why it's really important, guys, that you do put a real good slope on your roof of your poly house, because all of this is sitting and it's starting to bend. So we've just got to push all of that off just to help the poly house a little bit. I've noticed that a couple of the dahlias have started to turn brown, so I did think, have we gone below freezing? And we certainly have. So it's been -1 down here on the plot this week. This is the dahlia, and as you can see, it does look like it's starting to die back. We've still got plenty of heads, but that green foliage is starting to blacken off, which means it has been gotten by the frost. So we'll start hacking these back. I'll give it another week or so, let the frost really get them, and then yeah, we can give them a good old tidy up. This little patty pan down here has certainly got the frost as well, so we'll dig this up. I was meant to do this last weekend and pop that on the compost heap so that can rot down. But yeah, all of your tender plants will now start dying back. Anything below 5 degrees, but certainly when it gets below 0. Here's another one of the dahlias which the frost has got, but just look at the cosmos. That seems to be absolutely fine. A little bit windswept, but look at all those beautiful pink heads just bobbing around in the wind. So fingers crossed we should get this for another week or so. When it comes to tidying this bed over the winter and the autumn, I will give you some tips on how I keep my dahlias for overwinter, because they do not like to be waterlogged and they do not like the frost. So I'll give you plenty of hints and tips to make sure that your dahlias survive the following year. Believe it or not, but we've actually got some onion sets in here, so I really need to give this a weed because onions do not like to compete for any space or nutrients. So I'm going to get in here, give it a good old clear up, and hopefully you'll then be able to see the actual onion sets. I had to put you guys away. It got a little bit too wet to be out here, but look, we've managed to clear it up and you can see all of these onions now, and they haven't got any competition, so they can get all of those nutrients. Now, from all the rain that we've had over the last couple of days, that soil is just a little bit too claggy, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get much weeding done today, so we'll have to give it a go tomorrow. So I wanted to weed this bed so that we could plant the garlic in here tomorrow. We've already got one line just down the left there, but like I say, it is a little bit too wet, so we'll have to leave that until tomorrow. We'll give it a weed and plant the garlic bulbs all in one. Another thing I love about autumn are all the mushrooms and all the fungi that start to grow. You can really get some crazy colours and crazy shapes, but I'm not too sure what this guy is, so if anybody knows, pop him in the comment. I think he's got another little friend in the bed opposite as well. There he is. I think it's the same one, it's just a little bit smaller. But yeah, I'm not too sure what these little guys are. So down here we have got some new additions into the poly house. So my nan had some absolutely beautiful hanging baskets this year, and the main plants that really done well were the fuchsias and the pelargoniums. So in the 2 pots at the front we've got some fuchsia cuttings, and it seems that about 5 have taken. I'm just hoping that they're hardy and that the frosts aren't going to get to them. And then at the back we've got loads of pelargoniums, all sorts of colours, from peachy colours to really deep purples and a fuchsia pink, and we've even got some double blooms in there as well. We had to do some tidying up in the garden, so there was a couple of shrubs and we were just taking the trimmings and sticking them in some rooting powder and then in these pots, and we seem to have had some luck with one of the shrubs anyway. I'm not too sure what it is, but I will pop a picture up of what it looks like in my nan's garden and try and find out the name for you. And then over on the right hand side we've got an ericium, which is a perennial wallflower, and this flowers from February all the way until November and has beautiful purple flowers. I believe it's called Maeve's Bowls or Mauve's Bowls, something along those lines. But yeah, that seems to have taken on really well. I don't know if you can see that, but we've got some flowers starting to sort of form on this plant. Now you want these cuttings to put all of their energy into root development and also growing some new sort of leaves to help it, but you don't want it to be growing these flowers, so I'm just going to pinch them off to stop that energy being wasted in flowers. Before we head home, I want to pick this pear tree absolutely clean. Given that it got down to -1 during the week, I just want to get all of these pears home, so we better get picking. You might have noticed that there's a few still on there, and they are just the smallest ones, or they're started to go a little bit mouldy, but they'll be fine for all the insects and also the birds for over winter. This is something that I'm going to have to take care of over the winter time. So we've had that many pears, such a heavy crop that it's actually snapped one of these branches, so we will need to cut below here a nice clean cut anyway. So, but we don't want to do that until the tree starts to go into dormancy, which will be in the winter. That's all we've got time for today, folks. I totally forgot to film down on the plot, so I'm back at home. I'm going to hunker down for the night because Babet is still out there, and I'm going to try and get some crocheting done actually, because it's almost Christmas and there's a few handmade gifts that I like to do every year. So I'm going to crack on with some of those little projects tonight, make myself a nice brew and really warm up and hunker down. So I'm going to be back down the plot tomorrow, hopefully get loads more done. It's meant to be a bit drier, so I'll see you all guys then. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you soon. See you later. Bye bye.